Okay, here we go. Focus, focus, focus. We're in focus, and this is me. 38 years of me. I have, what are these called? Crow's feet. I have lots of lines on my forehead, if you can see. I have laugh lines because I love to laugh. And this is my skin. This is as raw as it gets. So I am back with a real talk video, and today we're talking about the warped beauty standards that we're living with in 2024. Whew, okay, I have a lot to say, so get some chai, coffee, whatever you want, because this one's gonna be chatty. Okay, so a little backstory on what we're talking about today. We're talking about, people getting botox, fillers, all of that, like younger and younger, even people in their early 20s doing it, Ozempic, everything that's doing the rounds. A few disclaimers before I start. I'm not an expert, I'm not a dermatologist, I'm just a person with a point of view, sharing my thoughts. Number two, this is not me taking a dig at anybody. If you're an adult, you know what you're doing, and if you've done stuff and you're happy with it, good for you. This is just me sharing my point of view as a creator and someone that has a community, because I feel like this has kind of gone out of control lately from what I've seen. And yeah, I'll go into backstories of what actually made me do this video, because up until this point, honestly, I've been a very you do you kind of person that do whatever makes you happy. I don't want to do anything to my face, but I feel like, or body, but I feel like there's so much stuff happening, and like it's getting to a point where it's becoming a little scary, which is why I thought I should do this video. So here we go. So the two main reasons that kind of sparked this video was, one, I was at an event lately, which was like a closed door event about, metadata and research and what people are searching for. And the number one search in people under their 20s is about active ingredients, niacinamide, tret, this, that, and the other. Fillers and so on and so forth, which to me was really shocking and really shook me, because I'm like, wow, people are searching for this stuff in their early 20s, because in my 20s I didn't know what a lot of that stuff was. I still don't know what a lot of that stuff is, and I'm 38. Weber and I were watching a show together, and we saw this actress who's, definitely in her late 50s. Her face had not a single wrinkle, not a single, there was no movement. It was like this, everything was like this. And to me, that just seemed so strange. It took away from, the work she was doing and the show. And I was like, we were both discussing how it just doesn't feel real. And I was like, wow, this is the time that we live in. It's crazy how today getting fillers or botox is just such a normal thing. You're seeing it everywhere. And that normalizing is great for people that want to do it. But I feel like the wrong audience is kind of catching on to it and not really thinking things through before they actually go through with it. I feel like, okay, 20-year-olds today are definitely way more aware and savvy than we were in our 20s, guaranteed. I didn't really, know about a lot of skincare. You take your skin, your body, everything for granted in your 20s, and you're just living your best life, which is why I was like, wow, it's crazy that, such young kids, and I say kids because you are a kid at 20, 21, are thinking of these things when they really don't need them. So why I feel so strongly about this is because I just feel like, A, there's not a lot of research that's been done on fillers, botox, all of that. We've had research for maybe close to 20, 30 years, give or take. And a lot of that research has been done on older people, because traditionally these treatments were being done by older people. So we don't really know what a 20-year-old today doing this is going to look like when they're 40 or when they're 50. And that to me is scary, where I'm like, have you got the full picture before you're doing this, So do your research, read up. There are lots of articles online about how people in their 20s don't need fillers, don't need botox, and you're actually aging yourself further by doing this because it's not meant for skin that's not mature. Why is this happening? Like, a lot of you are probably thinking, Sherry, if it's so bad, then why is it happening, and why is everyone doing it so coolly and stuff like that? It's a simple supply demand situation, guys. You're seeing it on your social media. I feel like ever since social media has become a huge part of every life and profession, you're seeing a lot of dermatologists, you're seeing them, a lot of these procedures being done actually by influencers, celebrities, all of that. People have become more vocal, people have become more open about it. I think 20 years ago it was very hush-hush, and like people didn't want to accept that they had gotten botox. It was like much later that they would accept and say, oh yeah, I had tried it, I didn't like it. Today it's very normal and cool to say it and get it, which is why I think there's a lot more of it. Also, I see a lot of dermatologists, recommending this to all kinds of people and at all ages. I myself have been asked many times whenever there's a new clinic opening or something, people are like, we have these services if you're interested. As someone that doesn't want it, I'm always like, no, I'm not interested. It's not about paying for it or it being free or whatever. I just don't want to do it. And also I have this funny story from a few years ago. Okay, so my mom had shingles of the eye, and because of that her eye was like this, like she could barely even open one eye. Like, this is how we went to a doctor. Okay, and I remember her regular doctor that was treating her was like, I would also like you to show her to a dermatologist, just as a, because it's so close to her eye and I don't want to take any risks, and I would like to kind of reevaluate both things and get a second opinion. When we went there, this was her state, like she could barely open her eye. Doctor checked everything, prescribed the stuff, all of that was cool, done in 5 minutes. And then as we were leaving, she told my mom, when you're better, why don't you think about getting some botox here. You have a lot of lines and stuff. And my mom must have been, early 70s, because this is a few years ago. And at that point, I didn't really think much into it because my mom was in that old category for me. But I was a bit shocked that here's a woman coming in with a medical condition that can barely open her eye, and this is what's being, suggested to her. And of course, at that point, we all had a big laugh because I came home and we were like, my mom is someone that doesn't even use cream or face wash. Okay, she just uses water on her face. So literally, I was like, doctor, you're barking up the wrong tree. She doesn't even use a cream, so she's definitely not getting botox. But I was just thinking that if it's offered to someone like this who's come with this crazy medical condition at that point, obviously if you go in for a normal skin consult, it's very common, right? Like for those of you that have maybe been to dermatologists, comment below and tell me if this has happened with you and you've kind of been offered or asked to do it. Like initially when people used to offer to me, I was like, oh, am I in that window? Am I in that, and then now I'm like, okay, no, dude, I'm 38. I'm very happy with how I look. But then to see younger and younger people doing this, and then they just stop looking like themselves, like when I feel like a lot of times I see throwback photos or actually a lot of celebrities that we've seen since their teen years and now they're like, in their 30s. They don't look the same at all. And I'm just like, wow, that to me is very scary personally. I don't know how it is for anyone else. I'm all for like, yeah, you tweak something, you fix something if you don't like it and stuff like that, sure. But like, I feel like a lot of people are just not recognizable anymore as like the same person, which to me is very scary. But like when you're so young and you're getting fillers and botox and you don't even know what the side effects are or the repercussions 20 years later, I feel like that's just really, really scary. Or even with Ozempic, like you see so many people today, read articles about the Ozempic butt or 100 different side effects of Ozempic that people aren't like talking about or saying you won't really know like the real actual side effects for many years. It's just like everything is a bit crazy right now, and I think younger people kind of need to take a step back and think, do I really need this? Do I really want this? ask all the questions and then do stuff. Be aware of what you're getting yourself into is my reasoning for doing this. More than like, hey, yeah, I definitely personally feel you don't need it in your 20s, and you just absolutely don't need it. And most people don't even need it in their 30s. And I'm very happy with the way my skin is and my wrinkles are and my lines are. They don't bother me. But I definitely feel like it's become something that is either an issue or people are all like talking about it, thinking about it, you know, in that space. Why should you wait, or why should you just not do this? Okay, here are a few points that I have kind of come across, other than just my personal opinion on you don't need it. Also, this whole constant need to look perfect all the time that social media is peddling on you, that, oh, I have to wake up with perfect brows, I have to have the perfect pout, I have to have this, that, the other. You don't need that. You know, and that is something that's just really scary, where it's reaching a point where I think that's driving more and more younger people to kind of do this. And you don't know how it's going to age, you know, like when you're 50, how are you going to look like versus how would you look if you didn't do anything to your skin? Yeah, it's a risk, it's a chance you're taking, but I just feel like you don't need to take that risk or chance in your 20s. Your skin is great, and you don't need it. And this is, I guess, the most important point where a lot of dermatologists have been vocal about this themselves. They've said if you get fillers too early, it can actually distort your anatomy and you can look older, and it can age you faster than you're supposed to age, and can actually be counterproductive. You know, like the point of these things was to look younger and to get like maybe a little Botox here and a little Botox there, and not like so much stuff done at 20. So if you're someone that's even remotely considering this, you know, in any form or shape, please do your research. Don't rely on me, don't rely on the internet, don't rely on anyone you saw on social media being like, okay, I got this, it works really well for me, I love my big lips, or whatever, I love the Botox effect on my forehead. Actually do your research, consult multiple dermatologists and get a, you know, proper sense of, do I really need this? Why do I want it? How is it going to age? All of those things. Ask all the questions, and if you still want it, then obviously you are an adult and you should go for it. But I feel like most people are not asking these questions, and they're just kind of doing it without really realizing, oh my God, this could be me in 30 years, or oh my God, I didn't think this could happen in 30 years, or I didn't think it's that scary, you know. So it is scary. And that is the reality that I kind of wanted to bring forward. So what can you really do? Okay, a lot of you are going to be like, okay, it's easy for you to say, don't do this, don't do that. But what can people do in this situation? Honestly, in your 20s, I feel like we have such great skincare options available today. Like in my 20s, we basically didn't know anything and we didn't use anything because there was lack of knowledge, awareness, all of those things. Today, there are so many products available that are great, and you can easily maintain like your healthy, nice skin. Invest in products. That's something I have really believed in my whole life. I wouldn't say whole life, sorry, actually late, maybe 30 plus in the last 8 years. In my 20s, I didn't really do much. But since my 30s, I definitely started investing in better creams, better serums, and that is pretty much my go-to for my skincare. Go to a dermatologist, consult with a dermatologist, ask them for a skincare routine, and you know, kind of figure that out. Don't just Google stuff and like, you know, or see someone's 1-minute reel and decide to do something drastic with your health, skin, any of those things, okay? I've been in that position. I had bad acne. I linked a video here, which was, I mean, after I had finished my acne, where I had done a video to kind of raise awareness on like saying, please like consult a dermat, do tests and whatever. In my 20s, I got the worst acne and I never had anything as a teen, nothing. Couldn't figure out what until I went to a dermatologist, got proper treatment. And honestly, I was exactly like a lot of people Googling stuff, and I was desperate for any kind of an answer. I tried anything and everything, and I was like, okay, I'll try this, I'll try this, I'll try this. And I still remember when I went to the dermat also, the last dermat that I went to, I didn't really want to go. My sister told me, oh, I've been to this dermatologist I like her, why don't you try her for your acne? And I was like, you know, I've been to so many people, I've wasted so much money, and I was broke then. I remember taking the money for the blood tests from my parents that I had to do because I didn't even have that. I feel you, I get you if you're in that space of Googling stuff, but this is your life. These are things you're putting onto your body, into your body. Be aware of what you're doing. And your 20s, I guess, are the time when you can really mess things up if you don't think about the future, right? Do what you want to do, obviously. Who am I to stop you? But think it through. Be sure and then do anything you want to do. And also don't fall for just warped beauty standards. You know, they change every few years. When I was a teen, thin eyebrows were really in. Now feather eyebrows are really in, and I dread over threading my brows to a point where they're so thin now. You know, all these things. So don't think about trends. Don't think about what everybody's doing, or oh my god, everybody's bee stung lips and I need to get a filler. No, you don't. And be sure before you do stuff, and don't feel pressured with the kind of warped beauty standards that we have today. So guys, I would love to hear your thoughts on this. I feel like this was just me having verbal diarrhea and really wanting to talk about this. It's been on my mind for a few weeks, and I just was like, how do I structure this video and how do I do this video? Because this is something I want to get out there and I want people to be more aware before doing stuff. I love doing real talk videos, so also comment below and tell me if there's anything else you guys want me to talk about. Happy to do another real talk soon. So if you like the video, give it a thumbs up, and as I said, comment below with your thoughts because I would love to hear from you guys as well as to what you're thinking and why things are changing so rapidly in the beauty space and why we're living with such warped beauty standards today. See you guys. Bye.